All right. So, good morning and welcome once again to our coding adventures together. I've been having such a jam, such a good time with you guys. And I had something quite different planned for us, but I've loved that you've kind of got onto music and how we can use coding with music. I've really loved that concept, and it's a little bit of piano, and I've just wanted to make more and more music from what we're doing. And hello, good morning to all of those in the chat who are saying hi. Great to see you joining us again this morning. So, in case you are new, you're not sure, I am Mr. Olson, or Mr. O, as Ibe says, as Amara says, as all of you say, I'm Mr. O, Mr. Olson, or Mr. anything that starts with an O. In this case, this morning, it's Mr. Octave. Does anybody know what an octave is? Have you heard of an octave? If you've done some music theory, then you might know what an octave is. Maybe you don't. That's all right. Uh, we'll probably get into an octave at some point. If you are into music, you're going to get there. We're not going to spend time talking all about that. Because first, 2.0, the dog, and I have a question for you. In fact, we've got two questions for you this morning. And my first question for you is, what is coding? What is coding? Are you guys awake this morning? Do you remember what coding is? Do you know where you are? Do you know what you're doing? What is coding? How would you describe or define coding? If you got an idea, put your hand up and then let's chat about it. Even if it's a completely wrong idea, you know what? Take a guess. And hello, Tsepo, as well. Great to see you are joining us this morning. Hey, what is coding? Does anybody know? No one? Oh dear. Do we? Tsepo might have an idea. Let's hear. Yes, Tsepo. What do you think coding is? How would you define or describe coding?
Coding is it's like you code. It's like you create something with numbers.
Ooh, I like that definition. That's actually a very interesting definition. It's like creating something with numbers. Because did you know this? That a computer only understands zeros and ones. So where you have in the chat, or even if you're seeing on the screen, whatever it is, all a computer understands is 1010111100. You might see the word hello, and the computer sees 01110111101000000, something crazy and wild like that, a long string of ones and zeros. And I don't know about you, but I can't talk to people in ones and zeros. And that's why we need code, because we need to be able to speak the right language to a computer to get it to do what we want. Whether that be controlling a robot, whether that be making music and coding music, whatever that might be, well, we can use code to do it. And that is what I want to mention. I don't have my slide up here. Let's see if I've still got it ready for you guys. Just to remind you of, no, certainly not that. To remind you of the Afronovate competition that we are running, where what you are thinking of is how can we use technology to solve a problem in our school or community. So you can try to think of that. I've already had, I see Dicoleti isn't with us yet this morning. I'm sure she'll be joining up with us. I hope so, because she's already started on this really, really cool project. And only if she's here will it will actually show you her progress on that, because it is really awesome, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go. But it's something that really helps other people, and it's something that she has coded, and I'm sure she started to design, and it's really, really cool. It even links up with the musical kind of coding that we have been doing. So now we know a little bit more, and we've reminded ourselves a little bit more about what is coding. But I've got an even harder question for you. Are you ready? Is your brain ready? Stand up. Let's get your brain ready. Stand up on your feet. No. Don't pretend like you're tired or or you're lazy or something like that. Stand up. Okay, so you're standing up now. Now we're going to do some jumping jacks. You know how to do jumping jacks? course you know how to do jumping jacks. That's where you jump and your feet go up out apart and your arms go up above your head. So let's do 5 of those. You ready? 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I hope you're feeling good after those. Okay, let's just do 4 of the highest jumps that you could possibly do. Are you ready? 4 of the highest jumps you could do. Don't hit your head on the roof if you're really good at jumping. Okay, let's go in 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you do high jumps? I jumped way higher than you. Maybe, and I hope so. My jumps weren't that good. I hope yours were better than mine. Let's carry on with where we are. Oh, wait. No. We forgot about the question. We forgot about the really tough question. Is why should we code? Why should we do coding? Why should we learn coding? Hey, what's the point of it? Should we learn coding? I got to hear from you guys on this one. Why should we learn coding? Why should we learn how to make these musical things and make stories, which we're going to start on today as well? Why should we do these things? Why should we learn how to program apps or any of those things? Do you just have no idea? Oh dear. Oh dear, those brains are still not warmed up and ready. Well, while they do, I just want to tell you about a really, really cool workshop that we are having later today at 4 o'clock. So at 4 o'clock today, you're going to be able to join in. You'll see all the information from the emails that your moms and dads have been getting, where you are able to learn how to make an app. Do you want to make an app? What about an app that you like tap on an animal, you search for an animal, you tap on it and you hear the sound that it makes? I thought that would be a cool app. Well, you're going to be able to learn how to make an app this afternoon at 4 o'clock. So please do jump in on that, join on that. It's going to be really, really cool. Okay. So that is, I think, one good reason for why we can learn coding, so that we can develop apps, so that we can better understand nature. I mean, I don't know what a walrus sounds like really, but it would be super cool if I had an app that I could just tap on that and hear what it sounded like. I could enjoy nature more. I could respond more with wonderment and awe. It's a great way for us to express ourselves when we use things like music or stories. You know, we could change the world with some of our stories. Oh, and I hope that you are going to really jump onto that and get some great stories going as we make music as well. Okay, so we're going to get back in a moment to our musical coding adventure. Okay, let's hear from Mercedes first. Hey, Mercedes, good morning. What would you like to say?
Before you started the meeting, did you say that we're going to have another meeting at 4 this afternoon?
Yes, so there is going to be another workshop at 4 this afternoon where there is going to be someone taking you through how to make an app, how to code your very own app. So yeah, so that is happening this afternoon. If you don't have any notifications of that, or if you don't have that on email anywhere, then let me know and I'll try to get you that link. Okay, so if you don't have it anywhere from there, then please do just email me. I've put my email in the chat over there, and then I will send you that link if you're not able to find it. Okay. Cool. So that's going to be a really good one at 4 o'clock. Awesome. I think you're going to enjoy that one, Mercedes. It's going to be a very, very cool one. Okay. So we are on our musical coding adventure now. Musical coding adventure now, where what we are going to try to do is we're going to try to have a concert start when we click a button. So we're going to try to use events. We're going to try to use sounds and all sorts of things to try to get some music to play, a one-touch concert button. And I think that sounds super cool. So we're going to be jumping over to Miss Zora to do that in just a moment. Just a quick answer for Micah. Micah's just asked, will it be recorded at 4 p.m. today? Yes, it will be, as far as I know. I mean, all of our sessions have been recorded, and that will be available through our YouTube channel or on Miss Zora. So when you join us tomorrow, if you don't have that, if you can't find that link or that video, then you can also please let me know, and then I will get that for you, because If it's recorded at 4, it might not be uploaded straight afterwards. It might only be uploaded tomorrow morning, but I will find out about that for you. Okay, Micah? Cool. You're very, very welcome. Okay, so enough nonsense of me just talking. Let's get coding. And we are going to jump over here. I hope you can see that. So, this is just the Africa Teen Geeks site. This is where you can see all of our news, everything that is going to be doing. Oh, sorry, I see that it is paused. There we go. Here's the Africa Teen Geeks site. And yeah, so here's where you're going to be able to submit projects. Okay, cool. And Amara is also saying only you're going to be getting back at 4:23. You can still jump in. The session will still be running, so you can still get in on that. And yeah, you're very welcome. You'll be able to still continue with that. Okay, so let's jump over to where we were yesterday. Now, I've noticed lately, I'm not sure where the issue is, that sometimes our saving to the cloud doesn't work very nicely. So I do recommend just download your project. Whenever you're done with it and you want to carry on with it later, just download it. Okay. So the competition, Believe is asking about the competition, that is running this week, and you're going to be able to submit your projects, that send in your projects on Friday, Saturday, or latest Sunday. Okay, so it's going to finish this weekend and you can send it in then. So what you're going to be thinking about is how could we use technology or coding to solve a problem in our community or our school? And there are going to be a lot of different ways that you can do that. Dicoleti has thought of a really cool one that incorporates music and what we've been doing over here. I still don't think Dicoleti has joined us yet this morning. So we won't show her project now. And what else was I going to say with that? Oh, and I'm also going to be talking you through how we might be able to use something like storytelling to make a difference, because how you tell a story can really impact someone. When you hear someone's story and it's really meaningful, then that is absolutely huge. Okay. Great. So let's move on now. Thank you for all that in the chat. You guys can keep chatting away there. I do read those. I do see those. And if there's something that we need to bring up, then that is okay. Oh, Mercedes. Okay. There we go. So Mercedes, am I right in saying that this was your project that you sent in? So Mercedes just said in the chat that Dicoleti is her mom's name. And so I think that might be the project that we've got. So can I share that one? Can we talk about it? Because I saw you have a few questions about it, Mercedes. Okay, you let me know in the chat. There we go. Oh, Amara says yes, but I'm asking Mercedes there to let us know. So in the meantime, while we wait for Mercedes to think about that, Mercedes says yes. Thank you very much. Okay, so this is Mercedes' project over here so far. And what Mercedes' idea is that there are robots who help to sing to sick boys and girls in hospital. And I think that is an outstanding idea. I don't know if you have ever been in hospital for a long time, and especially if it was in the past year or so, then it is a lonely place, and it can make you feel really sad, and your body doesn't heal as well when it is sad. Did you know that? When you're sad, you don't heal as well, or when you're anxious or stressed out or anything like that. But when you are happy, when you're enjoying yourself, your body is able to just work better. How amazingly designed are humans? Absolutely incredible. So Mercedes' idea was to have a robot that sings, that plays music to boys and girls who are in hospital. And Mercedes also figured out something really, really cool, where initially the girl that Mercedes was using, this one, was way too big. It was absolutely huge. But Mercedes saw, hey, wait, by going over here, I can actually change this girl's size. That's really, really cool. So Mercedes, you had some other questions about lying down. I think you've actually achieved it very well over here with a turn 15 degrees. So you've said, so instead of her standing upright, so this is what she, I think, was like. Let's go. Sorry, we'll put it back there. So she started off at 90 degrees, standing just like that. And then to lie down, I thought it looked really good how you did it like that. That kind of looks to me like she is lying down. Very cool. So you got her sort of sleeping over there. But where you're still going to work and do something over here is getting this robot to say something, to actually sing something. Maybe it should actually ask this girl first, hey, can I play you some music? Maybe she really doesn't want to hear music. So there's still a lot of gaps in here. This is a great start to this. And I think what you might even be able to do is build a little robot, even out of things that you found, and kind of prototype that and put it together. What do you think it might look like? Maybe you've got some old speakers or something else that can play some music. I think that'll be really, really cool to put together. Okay, so that's where Mercedes project is so far. It's the start of it, and you're going to be able to pick up on a bunch of really cool things, some new things today that I hope are going to help. But if you do need any other help, I did see the email from your mom there. You are welcome to email me with questions and let me know wherever you need help. Otherwise, at the end of this lesson, I'm going to make sure that I do leave at least 10 minutes of time for us to talk through your projects and where you might need help. Okay. But for now, let's jump back over to here, because what we've got so far in our project, when we tap the snare, then we hear that snare sound, and it even plays it over there. And we've also got the not hear that all that well. But we don't want to go and just click this ourselves. We're part of this concert, and we want to be able to hear what's going on. Okay, so let's look at our code so far and remind ourselves of a few things maybe we've forgotten along the way, that we've got this sprite or this object. And when we have it selected, we can see its picture there as well. Then this code will run on this sprite or this object. And then we've also got this drum kit, which has very similar code where it switches costumes, then it plays a sound, and then it switches back to its initial or original costume. So let's automate this a little bit more. And what we're going to do is add in a button that when we tap it or when we click it, then it plays a drum beat between these two instruments. Okay, it's going to be the start of a song. It's something that you can play music over, or you can even sing over. Or if you like rapping or anything like that, then this will be a really cool one to do that with. So we've got a bunch of parts for it. First thing we're going to do is add in a button. Now, instead of us just grabbing a button, I want to show you how we can draw and create our very own button. And we're also going to need to do a bit of resizing and all of that as we do it. So to add in a sprite, add in a new character that we want to use, or draw our very own one, we come down to this little cat face over here where we have choose a sprite, paint a sprite, surprise, so it'll be a random one, or upload a sprite. Well, paint sounds like the right one to me, don't you think? Let's try it out. So there we go. I've tapped paint. And now we've got a sprite, but it's blank. There's absolutely nothing there. If we look at some of the things that we're able to do here, some of them might be confusing or strange. Remember, it's Scratch. You can click and you can push anything. You just go for it. Okay, so don't worry about getting it all wrong. What we're going to do is we can either have a circle or a square button. Which one do you guys think? Should we have a circle or a square button? You choose. You can put in the chat or you can put your hand up. Should we have a circle or a square button that we push to start the concert? Circle. Okay, let's go with circle. That's the first answer I got from Micah. So let's make a circle. So in case you didn't see over there, the way that I did that was I clicked on this circle shape. Oh, and Ipe says square. Oh, sorry. We'll do a square on the next one. Whoa, look how big that is. That's huge. Okay. So we're going to have to do something with that over there. This is also filled it in black. And I think we should choose another color. What color do you think we should choose? We can choose all of these colors. Which one should we choose? Put in the chat, put your hand up. What would you like? Let's hear from Believe. Yes, Believe. What color do you think we should do? Believe, what color do you think we should do?
I think orange.
Oh, maybe orange. Well, we've got 2 votes for blue in the chat from Micah and Ipe. So let's start with blue, and tell you what, let's do the writing in orange. Oh, and Amara wants pink. Maybe we can do some pink and some orange writing. That'll be cool. Okay, let's try that. So we've got this as blue at the moment, a nice light blue. Oh, why don't we choose the outline for it? That can maybe be pink. Let's see if we can make pink. That looks quite pink, doesn't it? Make it nice and light. Has that done it? Okay, let's make this outline a bit bigger so we can, gotta have it selected. And then we can make the outline bigger. See, there we go. Oh, that's looking like a really good button. Nice, guys. Very, very cool. So in case you didn't see what I did there, I made sure that I have this selected. Here we can choose the fill, so the color on the inside, and the outline, we can choose that color. And then when I have it selected, I'm able to choose how thick I want that outline to be. So you can see we can make that really quite thick. Ooh, that's looking really cool. Okay, so next we need to add in some orange writing. And I think I should probably say something along the lines of start concert, so that people know to click it so they can start concert, to add in some words or some writing. Amara says, perfect. I think so too. Yeah, Tsepo, I also think it's very, very cool. So let's grab this. This is the text tool. So this is what we're going to use for writing. And we're going to tap just over here. That's where it's going to start writing. And as we start, it's a good idea to come and choose our color here first. So we choose fill. This is going to be the color for our writing. And that just kind of over there, that looks like a good orange, hey? There we go. Ooh, I like how that looks. That's a great orange. Okay, so now we put over there. And eBay also says, cool. It is pretty cool. I'm liking this button. We said we wanted to say start concert. Concert. Whenever you want to edit something, you want to change its size or anything like that, when you are on the Sprite Editor over here. So when you are on the Sprite Editor over here, make sure that you have it selected by tapping on this arrow. And then you can see there are a bunch of dots and things around here. And from here, you can do things like rotate and undo if you don't like what you have done. And we can also make it nice and big. I think that looks really, really cool, just like that. What do you think? Does look cool, right? Awesome. Okay, so now this is our sprite that we have made together. Ooh, I like it a lot. And we are able to, and this we saw from, who was it? Who showed us? Masedi. Masedi, you showed us that we can actually change the size of a sprite by making sure we have it selected over here, then coming up to where it says size, and then changing its size. Let's see if we make it 50. It's still quite big. I think we should probably make it a bit smaller. Maybe let's try 20. Oh, that's a bit too small now. Maybe somewhere in between. Let's try 32. Okay, I think that looks cool. Do you guys think that looks right? 30. Okay, yeah, let's try 30. I agree with you, Ipe. There we go, 30. That looks good. And if we look at it on a nice big screen, yeah, that looks great. Okay, brilliant design, guys. It's looking cool. Okay, so now we said what we want to happen is when we click on this, we want these instruments to play a song. How on earth are we going to do that? Does anyone have an idea? Let's hear if anybody has an idea for how to do this. I am going to tell you, so don't worry about getting it completely wrong. Take a guess. What do you think we might need to do in order to have it so that when we push this button, the instruments start playing music? What do you guys think? Hope that is a lot of thinking. Amara, I like that little emoji, that cool one. Okay, let me tell you, let me help you guys out with this one over here, because this is going to be a really important concept that's going to help with your storytelling. And and just like Mercedes was asking about how do we get them to talk, this is what's going to help you to get your characters and your sprites and all that talking to each other. So it's going to help a lot with storytelling. So first, let's make sure that we have this sprite selected. Okay, so we've got this button sprite that we've made. Man, it looks good. We've got this one selected. Now we need to head over to our events. And just like we've said out loud, when we click this sprite, we want something to happen. So let's look for that under events. Because remember, events tell us when something should happen. And we've got one that says when this sprite clicked, then whatever we attach over here is going to run. So for example, if we wanted it to move 10 steps every time we clicked it, you see how that runs? See how that works? And that's how it's even increasing that X there. But we don't want that to happen. Let's get that back to the middle over there. We want this to let these instruments know that they should start playing music. We need to send them a secret message in the background that lets them know that they should play music. We've got a very, very special way of doing this in Scratch, which is absolutely awesome. You know, in other coding, like in web development or in games, this is actually a little bit harder to do. And Scratch has made it really so nice and easy. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Under events, right at the bottom, we spoke about it yesterday and we saw it yesterday. We've got something that says broadcast message. So let's drag this out. This says broadcast message 1. So what that's going to do is that's just going to send out a message to all the other sprites and everywhere so that if anyone is listening for it in the background or any sprites are listening for it in the background, then they're going to pick up on it and they're going to do something because of it. Well, we're going to attach code to do that. Let's see what that looks like. So firstly, we've got it saying broadcast message 1. Oh, we've got an arrow and we can tap on that and we can say new message. We're going to do that so that we can be very clear with what we are wanting to do. So we want this message to be called, let's call it start concert. Okay, start concert, just like that. Now it says broadcast start concert. So when this sprite is clicked, it's going to broadcast start concert. Let's see if that does anything yet. What do you think it's going to do? Nothing. Let's see. Yep, it does absolutely nothing yet. Because even though it is sending out that message, nothing else is listening for it. We need one of our other or all of our other sprites to listen carefully for it and then do something when it receives this message. I know this sounds complex. As you play around with it more and more, it's going to make more sense, okay? So let's come over to this drum kit, which at the moment when we click, then it plays that sound. But we don't want that to happen. Receives a message. So I'm going to delete this one and I'm going to grab the other event that we have under events over here, which says, when I receive start concert, then do this. Now watch, this is some of the magic of coding. I love this in coding. So when we tap on this button, it's going to send a message in the background. We don't see it. And then these drums, this kick drum is going to play. Let's hear if and see if that works. Did you see that? I'm tapping on that and then it's playing over there, which is great, but that doesn't quite sound like a concert yet. We've only got this kick drum playing. So what if we had it playing something like do, and then the snare goes do, ta, do, ta, do, ka, do, ka. And we can kind of have that groove going. I think that sounds really, really cool. Okay, so let's try that. So we've already got this kick drum going do, but we don't have the snare drum doing anything. So let's come over to the drums over here and where it says, when I receive start concerts, switch that and then play the bass drum for 0.25 seconds. And then let's say when it's done with that, so when it's finished, we want it to send a message to the snare drum. Okay, let's see what that sounds like. So we're going to create a new message and we'll say to snare drum. Something like that. So when we look at it, we actually know sort of what it is about. Okay, so it's going to broadcast to snare drum. And now let's go over to our snare drum. And we're once again going to remove this event because we're not going to use the when the sprite clicked anymore. We're going to receive the message of play that, of play the snare drum. Okay, Africa is just asking for the link. Sorry, Africa, I'm not sure which link you're after. Please do let me know in the chat there, and then I should be able to help you out with that. Okay, so we don't want start concert. We want to snare drum. Okay, now what should happen? Let's just follow this logic throughout. When this sprite is clicked, so when our button is clicked, then broadcast start concerts. When these drums receive start concerts, then they play that kick and then that broadcasts to snare drum. Okay, so let's hear what that sounds like, and let's see if that works. Whoa, you hear that? Ah, okay, so that's starting to sound like something. And now what we need to do is after that snare drum is played, then it needs to tell the drum kit once again, the kick drum, to play again. So we want to broadcast another message. And we can make as many messages as we want. You're going to see by the end of this lesson, we're going to start on a sort of conversational story with some storytelling, and you're going to see how we'll pull this in. So let's say this back to kick. That's what that drum is called, the bass drum. So back to kick. And then we want our drum kit, once again, our kick drum, to when it receives back to kick, we want it to do this. We actually wanted to do it twice. Can I show you guys a shortcut, a quick way of doing this? Instead of going over to looks again and trying to just duplicate this, one of the things that we can do, I'm just going to pull that out for a moment, is we can right click. If you're on a desktop and if you're not on like a tablet, then you can do this. You right click and then you can tap or click duplicate. And then it makes an exact copy of that. Okay, so we've made an exact copy of that, but we don't want it to just play one kick. We want it to play twice. So this was, I think it was Mohammed yesterday who said, hey, what if we used a repeat block? I really like that idea. So a repeat block is just what it sounds like. We figured it out a little bit more yesterday, that here under control, this kind of slightly darker yellow one, we've got one that's called repeat, and we can choose how many times we want it to repeat. Any code that is inside here, well, that is going to run however many times we tell it to repeat. So let's just drop that in there. And it says repeat 10 times. We don't want that just yet. Let's just try twice for now. And let's hear what this sounds like. You can also preview your code by tapping on it. Okay, so we don't need to go all the way to the start. We can just go over here just to preview this part of it. Ah, that sounds pretty cool. And then let's see what this does. I'm curious. If we grab another broadcast to snare drum block, we add it after this. So look what's going to happen here. It's going to receive back to kick from the snare drum, and then it's going to run through this once, and then run through once. It's going to carry on and go on to the next block that we have, which is broadcast snare drum. Okay, let's hear what that sounds like from the start. This might be a bit of a mess, and that's all right, because that's part of the building process. Let's hear. Hey, how's that sound? I think that's sounding pretty cool. I think we can get that kick drum sounding a little bit quicker, so we're going to drop it to, this might just break it. So 0.125 is an eighth of a second. That means that we could fit 8 of these beats into eight of these notes into one bar. That might sound like way too much and brain overload and all of that. Don't worry, we're just making it play a bit quicker. So let's hear. Okay, we're going to start concert. Oh, I like that. How does that sound to you? Does that sound good? I think that's really, really cool. Okay, let's stop just over there. Oh man, I do like that. And let's quickly have a look through our code again, because we're going to use this to start our understanding and to start creating an algorithm for our own stories. And then we're going to use specifically these broadcast messages to start sending and creating conversations in our stories. Okay. Cool. And then tomorrow we're going to carry on with the story. We're going to be able to add in some variables, some ways that we can get our users' names. So whoever's using or playing our game or reading our story or interacting with our story, we're going to be able to get their name and actually put it in our story, which I think is superly duperly cool. Okay. So let's look at our code again. What we did on this project over here is we created our very own sprite. And on this sprite, we changed its size. And we said, when we click the sprite, it should broadcast in the background a message. When that message is sent, we want the kick drum to play once. Should probably even just have it play twice. Hey, maybe we should do that. Okay, we can do that. You guys can do that on your own one when you follow along, or when you make your very own one, some of your own music. Then we've said it will play once, and then broadcast to snare drum. Then the snare drum plays that once, and then it broadcasts back to kick. And then when I receive back to kick, then it comes here and it plays doo-doo. That's to kick drums, and then broadcasts back to snare drum. And then snare drum plays and then broadcasts back to kick. And do you see that this is going to repeat forever until we tell it to stop? So do you like this little groove? Where is it? Oh yeah, over there. Oh, I like that. I think we can do some cool things with that. And you know what? If we wanted to slow this down, oh, you know, let's do that. And then we're going to move on to the next one. So tempo means how fast something is played, or how fast or how slow it is played. It tells us how many beats there are in a minute. So let's go to our Sprite one over here, and let's set our tempo to, so it's at 60 at the moment, which means there are 60 beats in 1 minute. It means that there's one beat per second. I hope you're loving that math. If you really want to get good at music, you get your math down, learn it. It is so important for coding and for music. What number should we try, guys? Haven't heard from you in a while. I've been talking a lot. What should we set the tempo to? What number do you think we should set it to? You can drop it in the chat, or you can put your hand up. Oh, Mercedes says 2. Oh, 1,000, 10,009, 80. Okay, great. Let's start with 80, and then we're going to do some of those other ones. So let's start with 80 first, and let's hear what difference that makes. Oh, you know how much faster that is? Whoa. Okay, stop. Okay, let's try 2. I'm so interested. I want it. So 2 beats per minute. I mean, hey, that's groovy. Whoa. Is that really 2 beats per minute? Huh. I think something may have gone funny in the code there, because that's okay. Well, let's hear if there's a difference between that and 10. There isn't. I think this has a minimum amount that it can't go below a certain amount. That's why 2 and 10 sound the same. Interesting. Okay, let's try 16, which is what Amara said. Let's see what that sounds like. Oh, stop first. It's kind of also about the same, maybe 22, and then we're going to go for those huge numbers, and let's see what that sounds like. Oh, there we go. Now that's starting to get a little bit quicker. Okay, very, very cool. Let's try 10,009 beats per minute. I wonder if this is going to make the computer crash. Okay, let's hear. Actually sounds pretty cool. Now, I wonder if there's any difference between that and a huge number like Tsepo or Believe have said of, let's try just a huge one, 2222222, like that. Mercedes says awful. You don't like it? I don't know. I think we could work with it. Let's see what that sounds like. Whoa. That also kind of reaches the maximum there. Let's hear what 48 sounds like. Okay, let's see if that sounds a little bit better. Ah, cool. Okay, no, that's not sounding too bad either. Okay, so we can have control of that. And what we can have, ooh, let's try this. What if every time it played on the snare drum, the tempo got a little bit faster? Okay, let's try that. So we've got another block here that says change tempo by 20. Let's just say change it by 2. And we're going to hear how that is going to go faster and faster. We'll start at 48 because that felt like a good one to start at. Let's see if this works. Is it getting faster? Listen carefully. Is it getting faster? What do you think? You think it's just going to keep getting faster and faster? Well, it is getting faster. Yes, Mike, I agree with you. Yeah, it is. Whoa, that sounds cool. Me too. That's going kind of wild. Okay, so what we can see with that as well is that we can actually change this tempo thing, which I'm going to tell you is a variable A variable. Ipe says, I like it. Not. That's a variable. That's somewhere that we store data. We're going to see how important that becomes in a little bit. But first, I'm going to download this to my computer. Just so I have it, let me save it over there in case it doesn't save to the cloud, but I am going to click save to cloud as well. I've just seen with some of my projects, for some reason, it doesn't seem to save it. So I'm saving it to my computer as well. Oh, you guys don't like that tune? Oh, no. Well, that's all right. You guys can make your very own ones. All right. Yes, let's hear from Mercedes. Yes, Mercedes, what do you want to say?
Sorry to interrupt. There's also another way of saving to test if your file is really saved. You can even rename
yes,
it.
please tell me.
And at the bottom there, it would show the file. And there's an arrow that points down. If you click it there and you click show file, that will show that you really saved your work.
Okay, is that under here? Is that this one? So I've changed the name over here, and then where
Show
it says
in folder. Show in folder. You just click there, and that you'll see your file there.
What, the load from your computer? This one?
Yeah, so just see your file there.
Yes, no, that's great. And that's where it should be. But that button also hasn't been working for me, which I'm not sure. It might be one of the settings that I have, but if that's working for you, Mercedes, that is awesome. Then that's absolutely brilliant. Otherwise, my kind of safer way of doing it is downloading it and saving to cloud, because I never like to lose the work that I've done. But thank you for that. That's really, really helpful for us. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump back over to our slideshow. Okay, we're still good for time. I was worried that we had just played around there too much, but you know, it's fun to just play around there. We're going to try to use some of these concepts that we've got here. Maybe we can even incorporate music in some way. That's going to be up to you. And as we build our stories and as we go, is we're going to be thinking about how can we tell a story. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but stories are powerful. As you grew up, you learned a lot about things from stories. You learned about how to spend time to build something well from the 3 little pigs. You learned how to be kind and generous from a lot of stories. You learned from maybe a story like the tortoise and the hare, if you know that story, not to just rush and then be lazy, but to go slow and steady and just keep working at it and then persevere in that. These stories all help us understand something. Now, what if we could use coding to tell a story, maybe an exciting story that happened to us, maybe a made up one or one that we already know? What if we were able to use that to tell a story to create awareness of something? Maybe we want people to stop littering as much, to reduce pollution, to be kinder to each other, to help those who need help. What if we could create a story that would do that? Through this, because we're just going to start in the coding part of it today, is what will your story be? What is your story going to be? And what you're going to try to do, because this is a great algorithm. Remember, we spoke about algorithms. These are steps that we follow to achieve something or to do something. And this is a basic structure, a basic algorithm for pretty much any story. Many of our stories follow this pattern, this algorithm, where you start off and you say the normal world, where everything is normal, it's fine. You're telling your people what everything is like. So let's run with the story of maybe the 3 little pigs. Should we run with that? Okay, let's try that. But I hope that you guys are going to think of some even better stories. We've got the normal world. The normal world is that there are 3 little pigs who live with their mother, and then they are grown up, so they decide to move out. But then there is conflict. Something goes wrong. Do you remember what that something is? What would you say is the thing that went wrong? What created conflict and tension and excitement in the 3 little pigs? Do you remember this story well enough? Yeah, that's it, Micah. The wolf the wolf comes along, and now there is this danger, and the wolf steps in and blows down house number 1, blows down house number 2. But then we've got our main pig, our main pig, this pig that builds its house out of bricks. Here we go. So it seems to defeat kind of the conflict, or have a way to resolve it a little bit. So what does the hero do? The hero builds a house out of bricks for protection. Then what happened because of the hero? Well, the wolf tried its normal algorithm as well of huffing and puffing and doing what it does, but that didn't work. So in the story, what happened in some versions of the story, that wolf tries to climb in through the chimney and drops in like the most brutal ones. And I think these are hilarious, that the wolf climbs in the chimney and drops down the chimney, but the pigs all know about it, and this hero pig especially knows about it, and puts and creates a fire and some like boiling water, and then it ends up like cooking and killing that wolf, which is pretty hectic. George says, bye-bye. Yeah, which I think is pretty intense. Well, that's how it all got to the catharsis, is the big word we use for it. Seppo says, no, I like wolves. Me too. I think that's kind of mean. But that's how everything is restored, or everything is made better. So try to remember this. And if you want, I can send you a copy of this, but it's really quite an easy formula to follow. There's a normal world, something goes wrong, your hero, your main character, does something because of that, because they have done something, something else happens, and then there is everything is restored. And that restored or changed, that could be either in a good way or in a bad way. And so maybe we could say, hey, that Three Little Pigs story, that kind of ends in a bad way. I was rooting for that wolf, because you know what? Wolves get hungry too. They should be able to eat pigs. A lot of us even eat pigs. Okay, that's getting a bit weird, I think, isn't it? Okay, so what you're going to be thinking of is, what will your story be? Mercedes has said, who knows a story called Danger at the Dump? I don't know that story at all. So Mercedes, maybe you're going to be able to make a scratch story and do that. We're going to be starting on a new scratch story, and I want to show you just the basics of how we will do a story. And from here, you can make a story that is a really, really long one. Okay, so we're just going to work on the basics of it. And then we'll get there. Okay. Oh, and let's use kind of what we're talking about over here, because Amara says I do not eat pig at all. And there are a lot of people who don't eat pork, who don't eat pig. So maybe we can have two characters who walk to each other and then say, hi, my name is something. Do you eat pork? Something like that. Okay. So let's try that. A lot of us don't eat pork. That's interesting. Okay. Let's jump back over to Miss Zora. I'm going to find it over here. There we go, Missoura blocks. Here we are. So I'm just going to go back so that I can, I'm just going to make sure that is, well, let's see if it is all the way fully saved. I really hope it is. But Micah does enjoy pork, apparently. Okay, so we've each got kind of different ways, and our different cultures will have different ways of understanding and doing it. Yeah, see, my cloud save didn't quite work this time. I'm going to have to speak to the tech guys and find out exactly what's going wrong over there. But for now, let's start a brand. And I think we should use some different sprites. So I'm going to get rid of that one, and let's go choose a sprite. Okay, Amara even says that they're Muslim. Interesting. Yeah, so then that's going to be part of your religion as well. Okay. Yes, Believe, what would you like to say?
So you're breaking on my side.
Oh, is it? Sorry, yeah, I saw that there was a problem with the connection. So I tried to just talk a little bit slower, and hopefully it's all right now and that doesn't happen again. Thanks for that, Believe. Okay, so let's choose a character, which is, we're going to need two characters in this. We've got Avery over here. We've got a girl. We've got Abby. Who should we use? You can put your hand up or put in the chat. Who do you think should be the characters that we use over here? Okay, so Believe, yes. Who do you think we should use?
Girl.
Girl, okay. Oh, and Mercedes said the same thing. Okay, cool. So we got girl. So here's our one character. And now let's add in another character. Okay, Tsepo says a boy. Let's add in a boy. We could add in, what about this boy over here, Ben? Let's go for Ben. Ben, you look like you like kicking it, and that's absolutely brilliant. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's actually just make it nice and easy, and we're going to do it like that. So let's have Ben moving up over here. Okay, we're running a little bit short on time, so I'm just going to move this part forward. We will carry on with this story tomorrow, but I just want to show you once again how we do this. So we need to decide who's the first person to talk. Let's say it's that it's Ben, the boy over here. So we're going to make sure we have Ben selected. We're going to go over to our events, and we're going to start with an event. In this case, I'm going to start with when the green flag is clicked, then do something. And we want Ben to say something. So I'm going to come over to looks, and I'm going to get him to say, maybe let's just make it nice and easy. Say hello for 2 seconds. Okay, we'll start with that, and let's test that out. Hello. Okay, so that's working. We can't hear it, and that's something I want to show you guys how to do as well, so that maybe people who can't hear as well are able to participate in this as well. Okay, so we've got Ben saying hello for 2 seconds, and after that, we want him to send a message to the girl who looks quite big. Or maybe we should just make a bit Ben a little bit bigger. Let's maybe say 110, something like that. There, they look about the same size now. Hey, their proportions are probably a bit better, right? Okay, so Ben has said hello for 2 seconds. Now we want Ben to send a message to the girl to let her know that she can start talking. Okay, so there are a lot of different ways that you can change the name of this message. What I always recommend is try to name it something so that when you have, at some point, you're going to have this whole area just filled up with these messages for both of them. And if something goes wrong, you need to know exactly where it's going wrong. So try to be very descriptive when you name a message. So for example, I'm going to call my message the first hello. Okay, that's how we name it in JavaScript often. And in a lot of coding, we do that. We put it as one word. Don't worry about that now. First hello. Okay, so broadcast first hello. Then we'll say, sorry, Micah says that I'm freezing up a little bit. Hopefully that's coming right shortly. I will slow down just a little bit in case you do lose anything, but I hope you don't. Okay, so we're going to stay here in our events, and we're going to grab a when I receive first hello. Okay, so Ben has sent broadcast this message for first hello, and now when the girl receives first hello, well then what should she do? We want her to say hello back, probably. Hey, should we do that? Great. Let's see if that works so far. So when we tap the green flag, then Ben says hello, and then broadcast a message, and then the girl says hello as well. Okay, her head looks way bigger than his, which is interesting because they're two different art styles. It looks very interesting. And then from here, we can start adding in more and more messages. So we can create a new message that says something like, just make it very basic. How are you? Oh, we'll just call it a how are you? Just like that. That's the name of the message. And then Ben, when Ben receives how are you, then he is going to say something like, how are you? Just like that. Okay. So I think I hope you're starting to see the logic of this, how we can send that we can tell entire stories. We've made music and we can even tell stories with that. So let's just see if this is working. I think it's freezing up just a little bit there. I'll go nice and slow for us. Okay, here we go. Have a look. Hello. And then hello. And then how are you? Okay, so we are making some great progress. I want to show you one last thing. Actually, no, I won't show it to you today because last time I didn't leave enough time for questions and for the last announcements. So let's keep it over there for now and just recap that we used these special events called broadcast messages to send messages between characters so that they could talk, so that they could interact. And what you are going to be thinking of as we go through this is, what will your story be? Believe says I'm good, and you. What will your story be? Think about a story that's life-changing, that tells something of human character, that teaches us something. That's one of the best ways to learn something. Just like we did with the three little pigs. Well, that makes me really convicted and think about, hey, what are the things that I am building? Are they going to be strong, or are they just kind of quick and get it done, just quick and easy? Well, we see that doesn't last very long. That doesn't hold up to resistance. Oh, Mercedes says, why don't you choose a backdrop? Let's get onto that tomorrow, because I think we're going to run out of time a little bit today, because there are just the two things that I want to mention again to you guys, is that there is the competition for creating something with technology that improves or solves a problem in your community or school. And for that, you could win for your team. You could win laptops, microbits, Arduinos, and Raspberry Pis, which are these great little micro robotics controllers that are very, very powerful, very, very cool. So I recommend strongly that you think of that, you try that out. I'm here to help you with that. I hope that I was helping who started, who sent their first one in. Was it Mercedes? I think it was Mercedes. Yeah, Mercedes, who sent in her project, and it was just absolutely brilliant and great and a good start. And I hope that this has helped you out with that today. And in these last kind of few minutes, you're very welcome to ask me any questions you have. How can we do certain things? You can ask that, and then it's going to help all of us in that. So we'll do that in just a minute, because I also do want to mention that there is the app making what do you call it, kind of lesson workshop. There we go. App making workshop this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Many of you have said, oh, but we only get home at like 20 past 4. It will be recorded. And even then, when you get home, whenever it might be, you are welcome to jump in to that and see kind of where it is. I'm sure that you'll be able to catch up with where it's going. Otherwise, you'll be able to see some of the things and also ask questions there. All right. I believe has said that you're struggling to log into Miss Zora and it's not working. Okay, so are those the same? Is it the same email address that you have been using? Because what we can look at now is I'm just going to jump back over to Miss Zora, and let's just open up a new tab over here, misszora.co.za. Make sure you are on that one. I'm just going to log out. Yes, I do really want to log out. Thank you very much. So when you log in, you have the username that you originally put. And if you are struggling, if it keeps saying that the username or password is wrong, then what you can do is click forgot your username or password. And then if you can't remember what your username is, then you can also search by email address. So which email address did you use to sign up for it? Okay, so does that help, Believe? I hope it does. And you'll be able to either recover your password or figure out what your username was. Okay, so to do that, we went to Misora, login, and then forgotten your username or password. Okay, do we have any other questions or things that you would like to ask or say or comment on before we say bye-bye? We've only got a minute or two left. Yes. Oh, sorry, Mercedes. I didn't mean to put your hand down there. Yes, Mercedes. What would you like to ask or say?
Must we do our project on Ms. Zora?
You don't have to, but it is a great platform for it, especially if you're going to be using something like a story or. But if you do, if you learn this afternoon how to make an app and you want to use an app to do that, that's great. So it's any technology. So whether that be a robot, a computer, whatever it might be, as long as it's something that solves a problem. Does that make a bit more sense? Yeah, I hope so.
Yes, it does.
Thank you. Okay, great. Oh, you're very welcome. Amara, yes, you've also got a question or something you want to say? Yes, Amara? Amara, your hand is up. Anything I can help you with or we can help you with? No, I think that's it then. For,
Please,
oh, yes. Oh, you muted yourself again. Yes, let's hear. Okay, I think we might just have to bump that question over to tomorrow. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us today. Remember to think of your story. What story are you going to make? We're going to start on a story together tomorrow, but it's not going to mean a whole lot if you just follow what I'm doing. You got to be able to make your own, make it your own. What is your message? Do you want to encourage people? Do you want people to change something or whatever it might be, to litter less, pollute less, to help each other out more, to be happy and really appreciate what we have in this world? Whatever it might be, you can choose and you can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, that's it from us for this morning. Thank you so much for joining us and interacting so much. I had so much fun, and it was really cool to be able to make our music and start our stories. Have a fantastic day further, and we'll see you a little bit later. From Mr. Olson, bye-bye.